What is good, Stackers University? Guess who's got their voice back? Let's go! Ever since October of last year, gold and silver prices have been just chugging along, slow and steady, and then all of a sudden, someone hit the NOS button and prices took off like a race car. With prices increasing almost 10% in silver, and gold appear to be on a major run, and as long as fear is running rampant, prices will only continue upward. In fact, we have seen that more than $5 billion flow into precious metals over the last few weeks. So it's just a matter of time before premiums start to increase. This places us in a tough spot, trying to decide if it makes sense to purchase now, wait for a price pullback, deal with the premiums, and frankly, it's a tough question to answer, especially because it really depends on how long you've been stacking and whether or not you're comfortable with your stack. As much as I preach being patient and resisting FOMO, it's a heck of a lot easier to do that when you've been stacking for a while and if your stack is really where you want it. While I believe fear in the system will eventually dissipate and prices will retreat, the reality is that we have to hedge out our positions as best as we can since prices are out of our control, which means the things that we can control, we must control when buying our metals. And that's our acquisition costs. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Meaning, what are you paying your premiums? This is especially important as prices increase and premiums increase, resulting in us getting less metal for our dollars. When it comes to premiums of metals, I want you to think about it like buying gas. For the most part, most of us pull up to the gas station, we choose between 87, 89, and 91 octane gas. And the higher the octane, the more expensive the gas. If you know a little bit about octane, then you know that octane is simply a measure of the fuel's ability to resist engine knocking, and engine knocking is really bad. So for most of your high performance engines, they require 91 octane or high premium gas to operate. But in reality, a large majority of our cars function properly on 87 octane. Contrary to popular belief, using higher octane gas in a vehicle that doesn't require it will not improve performance or fuel economy and may actually reduce the efficiency and increase emissions. So if most vehicles are designed to run on regular 87 gas perfectly fine, then what's the point of having 89 octane? Basically because the research showed them that if they gave us 3 choices, we're most likely to pick the choice in the middle. Yeah? For the most part, 89 octane is just a way for them to extract more money from us as consumers. By now, I'm sure you're like, well, what in the heck does this actually have to do with purchasing gold and silver? It's simple in my mind. As prices climb, it's more important that we get back to the fundamentals and understand why we do things a certain way, why we stack a certain way. It doesn't matter if we're talking about gas or metal prices. There's no point in spending extra money, especially when prices are this high. If you're a regular stacker like me, you don't need high octane or high premium items to fuel your stacking. This is what makes Stackers University different. When people ask me what stacking smarter means, I say it really starts with premiums and understanding the following 6 points. 1, we can't control the direction prices will go, but we can control how much we spend on premiums. 2, as counterintuitive as it seems, premiums then become the most important variable on our stacking journey as premiums are an additional expense, essentially a tax. So why would any of us be willing to pay more in taxes than necessary? I'm not going to do that. 3, premiums are not made back when we sell. At best, you get a very small percentage of what you paid when you sell. For high premium coins, in general, you're lucky to get anywhere from 10 to 20% back of what you paid on the front end, or anywhere from 50 cents to $1 over spot if you're lucky. For generics, we generally get back spot price when it's time to sell, but we also paid a lot less on the front end when we bought. More on that in a moment. Number 4, based on the reality of price buybacks, our goal then becomes to buy as close to spot as possible. 5, higher premium items are not easier to sell. Generics and bars sell just as easily. I covered that in a previous video and debunked it. I'll link to that video at the end. And number 6, the dollars you spend on premiums not only limit the number of ounces you can purchase, they are also dollars locked into your acquisition costs, depreciating and losing value over time. Okay, this is where someone usually jumps up and says, hey, but Dr. Stacker, this doesn't really apply to me because I don't plan on ever selling. And that's cool, but at some point, someone in your family is going to have to sell these coins. And so I think it's important for us to look at the impact of these high octane or high premium coins and what it really does to your stack. First, let's play this out by saying in 2023, you built out your stack and you spent $5 over spot for all of your metals. First, the $5 you paid in premium for each ounce is locked into that coin. And because it's in the form of a premium and not in ounces, it's actually devaluing, not appreciating, and not keeping up with inflation. So 25 years from now, when someone in your family does decide to sell, how much is that $5 premium really worth due to inflation and devaluation? About 45 cents. as it would lose roughly 85% of its value. So if our thesis is around buying metals is about them being a inflation hedge, preserving our purchasing power to preserve our wealth, what sense does it make to spend any extra money in premiums and have it locked into the premium where you can't do anything and it's not appreciating? Wouldn't we want to get as many of our dollars converted into metals as possible and not premiums? This is especially important right now as prices continue to climb. Secondarily, we often underestimate the cumulative effect of how little savings can add up over time and truly make a huge difference, especially when it comes to our stack. On the screen here, I have an example. We have two investors, and both investors over time have acquired 2,500 ounces of silver. But investor number one has acquired it at $5 over spot because they bought higher premium coins, while investor number two has bought generics and their acquisition cost has been $2.50 over spot. At first blush, this doesn't seem like a big difference. However, over 2,500 ounces, investor two has saved $11,250, which can be used to purchase more ounces to the tune of 409 additional ounces. No matter how you slice it, investor two is better off. So let's say it's 25 years from now and the children of investor number one and two both decide to sell. And let's be generous. And let's say that investor number one, they get an unheard of $2 over spot for every ounce that they sell. And investor number two just gets spot price. Investor two still makes $36,000 more than investor number one because of that additional 409 ounces that they were able to acquire that wasn't locked in premium, but actually was put into metals. So let's be clear, the children of either investor will be very, very happy. I know that for sure, but I do know which stack I would prefer to inherit. No matter how much people try to convince me, I flat out see premiums as a wasted expense and something that needs to be minimized no matter what. For the record, I'm not totally against purchasing sovereign or slightly higher premium coins, but when I do the math, it seems to me that this should be the exception in our stack and not the foundation. Regardless if you subscribe to my approach or not, I'm going to suggest that as prices increase and premiums represent a larger dollar amount of our purchases, we have to adjust our approach, as the goal is not the prettiest stack, but the largest and the most valuable stack. Like high octane premium gas versus regular unleaded, if your car doesn't need it, there's no need to spend the extra money on it. For us, high premium coins are not a necessity, and the math clearly shows that our ability to incorporate low premium items by purchasing bigger bars or generic rounds, or if you're focused on gold, maybe it's stacking bars or commemorative coins or even foreign coins with lower premiums. Our ability to acquire our metals at a lower cost and use that saving to get us more ounces over time has a profound impact. You just saw that with that previous example. That 409 ounces difference, it translates into $36,000 by simply buying lower premium. In the comments section, how have higher gold and silver prices impacted your purchases? Are you stacking what you like to stack right now, or have you adjusted? Are you buying smaller quantities or different products now? When in doubt, put an A+ in the grade book to make sure everyone knows that you're an A+ student. Always stack smarter and never stop learning.